What's going on, everybody? The original Mako back with some more Gunfire Reborn content and a crazy update today. But first and foremost, make sure you're subbed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notification if you want to stay up to date on all things Gunfire and just roguelikes in general, future roguelikes, current roguelikes, past roguelikes. You're not going to find somebody pumping out more content on the regular, at least until school starts back up. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and check those links down below. At the time this video is going up, we have 2 more streams left this year. It's crazy to think about, but come join those 2 streams, make them some bangers, and yeah, we'll have some good times. But that being said, let's just hop right into the update because it is an astronomical one. There are just...
Why? Because it's so versatile. Pestle and mortar. These things are so versatile. And the secret behind a great saucepan is absolutely versatile. Absolutely
my
essential when it
mods
comes
need to understand
home cooking. Why?
when they
So
put a
versatile.
video
Casserole dishes are
on the overlay that they have to
Again, versatile.
take that video off the overlay, or every time that I put the overlay up, that happens. Anyways, mods aside, here's the update. Ton of balance and just all sorts of things. And I kind of glanced this over once. I didn't really read in depth too much. There's some great things, some things I'm interested in, but we're going to get right into it because, like I said, there is a ton of stuff. So, fix some bugs, adjust and optimize heroes, weapons levels, reincarnation, and more. In addition, we've introduced frames for each hero, and we wish you to enjoy the new ways to show your love and for each amazing hero. We're still working hard to further polish the game. As always, thank you for your continued support. So, heroes, the new punchy fella got buffed. Tweak the bonus to max shield from 30, 60, 100 to 50, 100, 150 after retracting the Aspis. There's an update or a buff to that ascension. Enemies hurt by hurdle will have a lower movement speed and take more damage. That was the original. The new one is enemies hit by hurdle will have lower damage dealt and higher damage taken. So it's like Hex Smoke, except with your hurdle. I think this is a better... I think the second one is a better version. I think that's a buff. Hostile Gift. The original was, if any block occurred while holding the Aspis, the magazine will be recovered immediately after retraction and increases rate of fire. The new one is recover the magazine and reserve ammo, as well as increase reload speed and rate of fire after retracting the Aspis. So regardless if there was a block or not, you're getting the buffs. Concussive Current. Changed the bonus to weapon damage for each stack of fist sensation from 357 to 369 after dealing damage with striking punch, so a slight buff from that. And Formidable Aspis, the original was after retracting it, plus 50, 100, and 150% damage for the next 5, 7, 9 shots, and each enemy killed with these shots will reduce the cooldown by 0.5, 1, and 1.5. Now you get 100, 150, and 200% damage for the next 3, 4, 5 shots, so more damage but less shots, and it'll reduce the cooldown by the same amount. Just kind of a motivation to use a little bit, if you're going for this, a little bit higher damage, lower rate of fire weapons, to get the most bang for your buck there. So I don't know if that's a buff or a nerf, just kind of a change to how it's played. Battle Adrenaline. The original was, if at least one enemy is within 10 meters, you increase weapon and skill damage every second. And now for each enemy within 10 meters, plus 10, 20, and 30%, and plus 4, 6, and 8% movement speed, and up to 5 maximum stacks. So, pretty good. Oh, also, and slightly increased the range for hurdle. So most of this is buffs. Did not do anything about the whole, the rogue or the wave breaking blow plus fist sensation. Unbreakable I haven't played the character in so long. The thing where your fists don't drop below 20. The remnant. Oh wait, maybe they did, because they did change exclusive remnants. Maybe I'll get there. Either way, buffs to the new character, which I didn't think needed buffs, but here you go. Next, we have the dog, and a lot of people have been calling for dog buffs or changes because they think he's very weak in solo, single player. I think he's okay. I think he's fine. It depends on what you're trying to do. I think Explosive builds work super well. Shrieker, Mortar, Rocket, Tiger Cannon. I'm not a big fan of the dual wield builds in Reincarnation, but regardless, here are the changes to the dog. So overloading. The original was after reloading a weapon, there's rate of fire increases. The new is plus 20, 35, and 50% reload speed. And after reloading a weapon, that you get an increased amount of damage. So no rate of fire anymore. You get increased reload speed and increased damage after reloading a weapon. I think that is a very positive change. I love myself some reload speed. So I think that's a really, really solid change to that in Ascension. Golden Comeback. The original was you take lower damage while you're dual wielding, and the new one is while dual wielding, minus 50%, 75%, and 75% damage taken for the first 5, 7, and 9 times that you take damage, and you obtain an additional chance of lowering the damage taken every 3 seconds at tier 3. This is one I'm going to have to see in action before I can make an assumption on it, because I'm trying to figure out in my head, like, this is like a one-time, until you get it to tier 3, it's like a one-time use Ascension. Let's say you get it to tier 2, then it only lasts for 7 hits, and then the Ascension is literally useless the entire rest of the run if you don't find tier 3. And it's a 75% damage reduction, which is a huge damage reduction, but like, you know, maybe finding it right before a boss is kind of nice, but it seems almost like a waste of an Ascension spot to me, but I'll have to try it out and see how it feels in game. Sharpshooter. Original was when using dual wield, you fill the magazine immediately for both of the weapons, and minus 50% reload time during dual wield. And now, while dual wielding, you get plus 30% rate of fire and accuracy, and after dual wielding, for the remaining 1 second of duration, minus 1 second for every remaining 1 second of duration, minus 1 second cooldown on the next use. I think this is worse than the original. I much prefer the original one. The accuracy buff, kind of nice, but I think the original one is better than this. Twin Gunner. Chance for... Oh, wait. They just changed level 2 and level 3. So the chance for double ammo consumption goes from 100% to 50% at level 2. And at level 3, the weapon damage bonus goes from 125 to 150. So a little buff to Twin Gunner for the dual wield builds. Love to see it. Lucky ammo level 3 effect. So the original is while dual wielding, you get plus 40% lucky shot and don't consume any ammo when hitting enemies. And now while dual wielding, you get plus 40% lucky shot and plus 20% extra lucky shot chance for 1 second if a crit hit and a lucky shot are triggered simultaneously. So that's obviously very much hoping that you're using a very fast rate of fire weapon when you're dual wielding. So some double angelic auras, scalpel thrown in there, something like that. And you'll be able to get some nice buffs out of that for sure. Although the whole not consuming ammo and hitting enemies was pretty good. So taking that away is interesting. But ammo expert. So the original was recover ammo while dual wielding. Now you recover 5, 10, and 15 ammo, reserve ammo every second. And then while dual wielding, double the amount of ammo recovered. And there's a 20, 35%, and 50% chance to not consume any ammo. This is an exquisite change. So now you don't have to be dual wielding to recover ammo at all. And when you are, you double the ammo recovery, and there's a chance to just not consume any ammo. That is fantastic. And then dual wield will no longer be interrupted by changing weapons that are dual wieldable. So if you're switching out weapons, I'm assuming that means while you're dual wielding, you'll still be dual wielding, assuming all weapons are dual wieldable, which is fine, I guess. I never really had an issue with that, but nice little quality of life change, I suppose. Next up, Lay Low. Lay Low accidentally discovered the Patrimonial Sniper Sting, and it's been added to the pool of Patrimonial Snipers. Damn. I don't like the Sting very much. A lot of people really do. I don't like it, so I would have preferred it's not there. But I don't use the Patrimonial Sniper very often. So, not a big deal. Thunder Nemesis. Original. When casting Fatal Current, it summons Thunderbolts to strike on random enemies around. The new one is when casting Fatal Current or Fatal Current ends, summon Thunderbolts to strike on random enemies around. So, it happens at the beginning, it happens at the end. just a much better Ascension now. Heart of Battle. Originally, it was reduced the cooldown for every crit kill. Now it's reduced the cooldown upon killing enemies that are shocked. Interesting. You're probably going to get more out of the crit kills, but... excuse me. Maybe not. So that one's interesting for sure. Lightning Governor, level 3 effect. The original was during Fatal Current. If Chain Lightning kills an enemy, add 1 second to the active duration. And now you add 1 second to the duration for every enemy killed. Whether it's Chain Lightning, whether it's whatever, boop, bop, beep, boop, boop, bop, boop, boop, bop. So every time you kill an enemy, you add 1 second to the duration. You love to see it. Bolt from Blue, plus 3 seconds to the duration of Fatal Current. Which, that's the one that gives you extra skill damage, I believe, while your Fatal Current is active. So adding a little bit of duration to that is pretty nice. And Crown Prince, onto the cat. Tweaked the interval when throwing smoke grenades. You may now throw grenades faster. Love to see it. Although, a lot of times you don't need to be throwing them too fast, but just a nice little quality of life thing there. And then basic attribute adjustment. This one is interesting. So losing 15 health, but gaining 15 shield, and shield recovery delay is shorter, so you now recover your shield faster. Very interesting. Very interesting to those basic attribute adjustments. I'm going to be interested to see if that really makes that much of a difference. But on to the weapons. Here we go. The Sunder. Optimized mechanism of splitting. The split projectiles are more controllable now, providing a chance to deal huge damage if all projectiles hit the target. Number of splits goes from 3 to 2, and number of split projectiles goes from 1, 2, 4, 8 to 1, 3, 9. The distance has been changed to be a set distance. The damage dealt for each projectile per split goes from 250, 200, 150, 100 to 400, 120, and 90. So a higher maximum potential, but a lower minimum potential. Rate of fire has been increased, projectile speed has been increased, piercing has been increased, and removed the horizontal recoil and tweaked the vertical recoil. Now, the Sunder was a weapon that I thought was already good. I thought it was already pretty good. I don't see how this weapon doesn't end up in S tier after this. This is going to be one of the first things I think I want to try today is this Sunder. When I get into games on stream, check out the links down below. But that maximum damage potential seems ridiculous at that rate of fire and projectile speed and with piercing. And it can still get the ball synergy. This weapon seems like it's just going to be very good. But as always, sometimes things sound a lot better on paper than they actually are. So we'll see. Next, the Argus. It'll now knock back enemies continuously, but only those within 7 meters will be affected. If enemies hit any barrier on their way back, they will receive additional damage. That is very interesting, actually, and a very unique way to play the weapon. I do want to try that at some point today as well. Rate of fire has been increased and tweaked the recentering speed of the muzzle after firing. The Thunderstorm no longer pierces enemies. That was the only thing making it worth a damn, so rip. Inscription. Sunder's exclusive inscription. The projectiles will horizontally split for 3 times has been changed to projectiles will horizontally split for 5 times, 20% damage for every time the projectile splits. And that's now 30% damage for every time the projectile splits. So just another amazing change. And then Argus's has changed from 500% effective range to 200%, which is probably fine. You're probably going to want to be playing it within 7 meters most of the time anyways. Other inscriptions, the plus 1.2 crit and minus 25% rate of fire is plus 1.2 crit and minus 10% rate of fire. Thank you. The 40% lucky shot minus 25% rate of fire is now 40% lucky shot and 10% rate of fire. Thank you. Still not great, but way better than it was before. And then optimize the game's performance when players use Thunderclap gloves to trigger miasma frequently. And then optimize the crosshairs of the Wild Hunt. So a lot of nice weapon changes for the Sunder. The Argus is an interesting one, But the Sunder is one that I am just so excited to just feel it. I just want to grab it and just use it right now, because that is going to be I think it's just going to be unbelievable. I really do. So next up, some monster changes. The Pole Monarch, the final boss, improved the pathfinding of the boss when he dashes to prevent him from reaching some undesired places, slightly increased his base HP and attack power, and increased the health of spiritual aura containers in co-op and reincarnation difficulty. Final boss is now harder. Sick. The Elite Thunderous Stalker. Ammo supply will be dropped when mirror images have 0 health remaining. Fuck you. After resummoning mirror images, the real Stalker will have any debuff currently applied to itself removed. Sick. The mirror images are now immune to manipulation effect. Reduce the probability of resummoning mirror images when the real Stalker is under attack. That's a good change. And not only the real Elite Thunder Stalker, but also mirror images will now attack the same player. So if you're getting gangbanged, you're getting gangbanged, and there's no way out of it. So there you go. You love to see it. Definitely makes that fight a lot harder. The Elite Mandrill Cavalry added a visual effect representing that the rider is invincible when the mount is alive. Added visual effects representing the countdown for the rider to resummon a new mount after the old one is defeated, and the cooldown for their charge attack is reduced if it gets interrupted. Some of the monster's skills will now inflict burn, and reduce the rider's additional damage taken when the mount is alive. Yay! Mountain Guard increased recovery speed after a sword attack and increased the probability of hunting down players via slam. And the normal Mandrill Cavalry adjusted the special effect of sweeping attack and reduced the chance of displaying abnormal special effects. So just a huge buff to a lot of things in the 4th area that are going to be a little bit more difficult to deal with now. So interesting. The levels. They added 2 new routes in, oh my god, it's already been 17 minutes. They added 2 new routes in the last area, stage 1. Affected by demonic aura, tornado traps will now appear in the desert on elite difficulty and above. The elite coyote appears will now appear on normal difficulty. Tweaked combat flow in snowy fairyland. I don't know what that is. Tweaked the combat flow in the Longling Tomb stage 3. Increased the seal's health and reincarnation difficulty. Optimized the location of seal guarding vault entrance that was originally difficult for players to interact with in the Anxi Desert Stage 3. Weapons obtained via peculiar chest will now come with full ammo. Love to see it. Optimized some in-game text related to the chest. Optimized the performance of rolling boulders in the ruins. And tweaked the location of a treasure chest in the Shoreside Valley. Now on to some more of the fun stuff. Some enhanced scroll changes. Brutal gloves. And I kind of, this was the part where I really started just glancing through, so a lot of this will be new to me. Original was plus 35% weapon and skill damage, and now it is plus 50. So just a even better increase for enhanced brutal gloves. Never really a reason not to take it. Enhanced bloody ammo. The original was that automatic weapons can continue to fire with an empty magazine if the fire button is held, but each extra shot deals 1 normal damage, but you can't get knocked. Now you can continue to fire weapons even with an empty mag, gaining plus 10% weapon damage per shot for 5 seconds up to 100%, but each extra shot deals damage that equals 1% of your current total health to yourself. So higher risk, higher reward. I'm still not really a fan of bloody ammo, so this isn't a big deal for me because I almost never take it. Enhanced perfect sixth. The original was every 6th shot gains plus 50%. Now it's 100%. Once again, just a nice solid buff there. Enhanced improved clipped. The original was whenever an ammo pack is being picked up, the ammo is doubled and directly goes into the magazine instead of your backpack. Increases your movement speed by 25% until reloading. Now, whenever ammo is picked up, it directly refills the magazine instead of reserved ammo and increases your movement speed by 25% and damage by 50% until next reload. This combined with bullet bank makes for a very fun time with a high magazine weapon such as, I don't know, Big Hippo. You're probably never going to be reloading. My question is, because the movement speed and weapon damage buffs last until reload, if you have like a Big Hippo plus bullet bank, and you're killing things relatively quick, are you just stacking that damage buff forever? Like, is there a cap to your movement speed and damage buff? Because that seems ridiculous and something I kind of want to try I actually am gonna write that down because that's the first thing that came to my mind, and I don't want to forget about trying that. So, bullet bank, hippo, enhanced, improved, clip. All right. Sorry, had to do a little content stuff. All right. Anyways, Enhanced Giant Slayer. The original was when hitting an enemy, a 10% chance to deal 15% of the enemy's max health as true damage, up to 5k per hit. Now it is when hitting an enemy, there's a 10% chance to deal an additional 15% of the enemy's max health as true damage, and it's up to 5,000 times the number of players in your squad at most per hit, just making the scale a lot better for co-op. Enhanced Ninja Invincibility. The original was plus 10% lucky shot chance, up to 100% per second, and it resets after you trigger a lucky shot. Now it is plus 5%, up to 10 stacks. Upon reaching the max stacks, it'll reset after triggering a lucky shot. So you cannot proc it until you hit the maximum amount of stacks. So every 10 seconds, you get plus 50% lucky shot, essentially. Still don't like it very much. Rock Hard Determination, Enhanced Rock Hard Determination original was plus 50% damage while being stationary, and the bonus will remain for 4 seconds after moving. Now it's 80%. Once again, just a nice solid buff. Enhanced Lightless Shield. The original was you gain 3 stacks of Lightless Shield every 30 seconds. Each stack prevents an attack and is consumed afterwards, giving you plus 75% weapon and skill damage for 3 seconds. You can only have up to 3 stacks. The new one is you gain 4 stacks of Lightless Shield every 30 seconds. Each stack negates an incoming damage and is consumed afterwards, and you can only have 4 stacks. I think this is a better change, honestly. I think the extra... the best way to use... Lightless Shield is one of the best scrolls for the final boss because his attacks, assuming you have an okay movement speed, you're probably not going to be getting hit 1 time every 10 seconds. This gives you a chance to be hit even slightly more than that, and you're still constantly reloading your Lightless Shields every 30 seconds. So every 30 seconds, you can get hit 4 times, and as long as those 30-second countdowns reset, like you're back to being able to take another 4 hits every 30 seconds, which is just insane. Enhanced Phantom Skin. Okay. So the original was you gain 1 stack of Phantom Skin every 10 seconds. 1 stack is consumed when you take damage, restoring 50% shield/armor and granting movement speed for 3 seconds. You can only have 33 stacks at any given time. The new one is you gain 1 stack every 10 seconds. A stack is consumed whenever you take damage, restoring 100% of your shield/armor. Pog change, and you can only have 3 stacks at a given time. So you don't get the movement speed buff, but you do get all of your armor instead of 50%, which I think is a banger. And now we're about to get into one of the most wild changes I've seen in a while. I other than how they changed like Atomic Bomb, this might be the most game-altering change to a scroll I've ever seen. So the enhanced rings. The enhanced elemental rings, starting with magnetic coil, they all have the same change, so we'll just go through one. So the original was every 6 seconds, you release an electromagnetic pulse that inflicts shock damage for 6 seconds on every enemy it passes through. Every 6 seconds, it just automatically releases one that lasts for 6 seconds instead of every 10 seconds like the original. The new version, every 6 seconds, and every time you deal a crit hit per second, you can only do this once a second, you launch an electromagnetic pulse that puts the shock effect on every enemy affected by it. You guys are seeing this, right? Every second, if you're hitting crits, you are doing elemental damage. Can you imagine having 2 of these elemental rings? I am excited to try those new rings out. Anyways, the last one is Enhanced Airbag. Original, recover 100% of health instantly when shield and armor fully depletes. And the new one is you lose 2% health per second if your current shield or armor is more than 0, but recover 100% health instantly when shield or armor fully depletes. So it's just you're able to reload the airbag a little bit quicker since you don't have to have full armor. And then adjusted the price of some enhanced occult scrolls. Spiritual blessings in Reincarnation. So Splinter Orb. The original was when casting it, you get 2 additional energy orbs launched to the left and right. Now when you cast it, you get an additional one launched on the left and the right, and minus 1% energy orb cooldown for every enemy hit. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it could be fun in co-op to have somebody who's just farming energy orbs, just freezing every enemy with a Splinter Orb, and everybody else is just doing all the damage, and this guy's like, yep, I'm just going to keep firing away. But, yeah, could be interesting in co-op. I don't think in solo that's worth a damn, though. Weapon Genius. Original, when dual wielding, plus 30% rate of fire and 30% chance to not consume ammo when both weapons the same type. Otherwise, it's plus 50% lucky shot. And the new one is minus 50% dual wield cooldown and plus 75% lucky shot chance while dual wielding. And the offhand weapon shares the same level as the main weapon. I really like this change, actually, and I think it's a very solid one. So I'm going to be excited to try this out for sure. You don't have to pump your offhand weapon to the dual wield anymore if you have Weapon Genius, which is nice. Battle Scarred, or when your health is less than 100%, a 75% chance to recover 20% max health every time you take damage. The new one is minus 1% damage taken for every 2% health you have. Also, if health is less than 75%, you recover 5% health per second. This seems wildly good, and I'm excited to see how good that feels in the game, because the extra health recovery plus the damage reduction seems really nice. Unstoppable Momentum. The original is 100% base damage for the next leap. When you hit an enemy with leap, you get up to 10 stacks, and you remove the stacks on a miss. For each enemy hit by leap, plus 100% for their next leap base damage. And you gain a 5% chance to reset the cooldown up to 10 stacks, remove all stacks on a miss. So you, by default, just have an increased chance to reset cooldown for every time you hit this. So this is just a nice buff to a really good remnant already. So love to see it. The original is Cleave instantly kills normal/elites that have 25% health or less and bosses with 15% health or less. The new one has the same exact stats, but it also has plus 30% cleave damage for each remaining charge of cleave. The more cleaves you have, the more damage it does. Lightning, I don't think that really changes the fact that cleave builds aren't really viable on Reincarnation 8. Bladed Cleave. Nope. Lightning Messenger. The original was after dealing a crit, you apply shock effect to the inflicted enemy and all foes within 10 meters. And when he attacks the enemies in shock effect, increase weapon damage by 100%. Weapon and skill damage. That is a huge nerf to Lightning Messenger. Lightning Messenger was brokenly good. Now it is not nearly as good because it's 7 meters less. 7 meters less. That is a huge decrease. And I don't think this is going to feel nearly as good anymore after this change, but that is yet to be seen. High-powered arc. The original is when casting Chain Lightning plus 100% Chain Lightning skill damage per bounce. Now it's plus 150% base Chain Lightning damage. For each increase to the maximum bounce of Chain Lightning, and it's by default plus 300% because you get 2 bounces. So if you get any ascensions that give you more bounces, you increase this damage even more. I think that's a pretty good change. Thunder and Glory. The original is minus 50% fatal current cooldown. The new one is minus 50% fatal current cooldown for each enemy hit by a Thunderbolt, plus 40% base damage to the next Thunderbolt for 10 seconds, up to 30 stacks. I think that's a fine change. It makes it a little bit more interesting and interactive, and you get a little bit of extra damage output out of it as well. So you'll love to see it. Sword Mastery. The original was you can stack Blade Heart when swords are on cooldown. Now plus 50% rate of fire while using swords out. And you can stack Blade Heart even when swords out is on cooldown. So you just get an increased rate of fire while using your swords, which is just really nice. Just a nice little buff there. Ice Blade. The original was it deals an additional 10% of the enemy's current health as true damage, up to 5,000%. Now it's just the same thing, but it scales more with multiplayer, just like Giant Slayer. Backfire. The original was you reflect significant damage back to all enemies within 10 meters upon taking damage. Now you reflect significant damage back to all enemies upon taking damage or hitting an enemy with Hurdle, and you can trigger this blessing by using Hurdle in the new version. This seems very interesting. I still want to do an entire run where I only use Reflect slash... I've already done like all skills on the new character, but only Reflect slash Hurdle seems pretty cool. So that would be interesting for sure. But significant AoE damage is kind of important here. Not just damage, but AoE damage. So, although it kind of... Anyway, a good man. The original was reviving a teammate or being revived grants you plus 2% health per second recovery and plus 20%, 2% health per second, and plus 20% movement speed and 30% weapon and skill damage for 60 seconds. You could stack that up to 3 times. Now, reviving a teammate or being revived grants you the 2% health recovery, lower movement speed, but same damage and skill damage buff. It lasts for 180 seconds, and you can have up to 10 stacks. So you could basically have this for goddamn ever if you want, if you're just reviving kids left and right. So, interesting change for co-op. Copycat. The original was after killing an enhanced monster, you obtain their enhanced effect, which lasts for some time. Different effects will be applied at the same time, while the same effect will have its duration refreshed. And the new one is upon killing or having a kill assist on an enhanced monster, you get all the effects. And in this patch, we've adjusted the mechanism of this blessing so you may obtain an enhanced effect via a kill assist. And also, we've increased the duration of each effect. Now, that's interesting. So a nice little buff to Copycat. Some UI stuff. They added secondary key binding slots, unlockable frames for each hero. That comes with a unique challenge to complete. Boss cutscenes are now skippable. Optimize the icons of some scrolls, some in-game text displays. Added an icon shown in the armory to indicate weapons that can't be dual-wielded. Text layout of the main menu. The ready symbol to indicate teammates who choose to return to the inn. And the mechanism of the option include default weapon when switching weapons. When this option is disabled, and if only one primary weapon is equipped, you may still switch your weapon to Foundry, which doesn't... I have keybinds for that, so it doesn't make a difference. Optimize the attack animation when he's dual-wielding icy spears. The dog's dual-wielding icy spears. Optimize the warning special effects of some monster skills. Some controller changes, if you're interested in that. Daily challenge effects that I don't care about because fuck the daily challenges, but check them out if you're interested. Some optimized audio stuff. Optimize the screen ratio when playing cutscenes. And then some bug fixes that I'm going to just kind of sit here on for a second. Pause if you want to look at them. I am not going to be reading every bug fix because there are a ton. And unless there's one that I'm specifically looking for, then it doesn't really affect me. But if you want to pause here, here's the first 20. And then if we go back down, here's the next 20. If you want to pause here, do it now. And then the last few... Oh my God, wait, is there actually more than that? Oh my God. Okay, the next 20. And then pause. And now... Oh, that was it. Okay. Jesus Christ, that was a lot of bug fixes. And that was a lot of changes, 33 minutes worth. So let me know what you think about some of these changes. I'm excited to get ready to hop into these changes as soon as this video gets uploaded. So when you're watching this, like I said, I'm probably live on Twitch. So check the link down below. I'm going to be playing some video games, testing out all of these things, and playing more Inscription later. Guys, if you haven't watched my Inscription video from the other day and the one that's coming out today, please watch it. This game is so good. It's so fun, and I just want to play it more. But now I want to play this too. So we're going to be playing this to start and then going into Inscriptions. Check out the Twitch link. Make sure you're subbed to the channel. Thank you guys for all the support as always. Let me know what you think of some of these changes. I love each and every one of your faces, and I will catch you all in the next video.